Hello, it's day 98 part 2 and I'm glad you could come back and join me. Now since you've been away, what I've done is I've made a cheese sauce. Now all I did was once I'd got a smooth texture, I gradually brought that up to the boil, stirring all the time and adding cheese. Now I've chosen to add red Leicester because I think it gives the cheese sauce a nice yellow colour. But it doesn't really matter what cheese you use as long as it's a mature cheese. You don't want to mess around with a mild cheese. You want it to have a strong taste to really pep up the taste of those vegetables. Now, vegan cooking. How can we do cheese? Well, it's a bit of a challenge, but let's go through it. What you can do, instead of actually stirring the cheese into the white sauce, you can use a combination of sage and chopped mushrooms. Don't cook the mushrooms, just chop them, wash them and clean them, yeah. But chop them and use sage and you put that in. Now, it makes a bit of a grey looking sauce, but trust me, it still tastes all right. Not as good as this one, but okay. So this is just basically, as I showed you, the whites. There's no way I could have filmed this and do it because I needed to stir it all the time. Now I've, from my windowsill, I've used some scissors. I didn't chop, I just basically chopped up, cut down lots of, these are fresh chives. So they go in. Right. I'll stir those in. Again, with vegetables, ingredients like that, you don't want to cook them particularly. They taste absolutely fine as they are. Right, and also into the cheese sauce, I've added oregano. Now, you can use parsley, you can use thyme, and dill's really nice, but I tend to reserve dill for use in Slavic cooking. So, oregano, good choice today. So that's gone in there. And you need a good sprinkle of ground pepper. Now this is black pepper. White pepper's actually better for a cheese sauce, but it really doesn't matter. You can actually use peppercorns and grind them in if you want, but you know, I'm not sure I like that texture. It's a bit gritty. Okay, so that's the cheese sauce. That's you can see it's already getting quite thick. And that's what you want. With all the vegetables embedded in it, you want it to set really nicely. Now, also, since you've been away, what I've done is I've fried the leeks in a little oil. They're not particularly cooked, they're just softened. You see, so that's not a big problem. And also, right, potatoes. I cook those and I steam the carrots at the same time. So, right, this is the pot of it. Halfway through, I took out the potatoes when they've still got a bit of bite to them. I think that's you know, as they say in Essex, al dente. So that's firm but cooked potatoes, and underneath that is, now that's just absolutely raw white cabbage. Cabbage cooks really fast, so by the time you bake this in the oven, it really doesn't make much difference, and you don't want to boil it to tasteless. You know, you can eat cabbage as it is, it's fine. So, so that's in here. Now also, I have these. These are frozen peas. Done nothing to them, they're just sat on the side, they're not cooked. And again, put them in as well. I'll just find my... So I can use metal on this. Right. Spread them out. Now, again, peas take so little time to cook that, you know, if you start cooking them and doing things otherwise, the whole point of doing this sort of two-stage cooking is that your potatoes and carrots and onions get cooked partially beforehand. So when you cook everything together, the other vegetables that need just a little bit of cooking all come together at the same time, and you end up with something that's cooked but really still tasty. So anyway, so all we got here is boiled potatoes, cabbage and peas. Now I carried on with the cooking process and steamed the carrots. Now these are actually nice and soft now. Now It's an idiosyncrasy, but I like having them as a separate layer. And then I carried on cooking the potatoes, and here we go. I've made mashed potato. Now that is extraordinarily runny mashed potato, which is exactly what you want, because you want it to form a layer over the top. And when you bake it in the oven, you want a nice golden brown crust on top of it. So that's runnier than normal mashed potato. It's made with, well, you know what mashed potato is made with. It's potato, oil, and milk. And if you're vegan, it's just potatoes and a little bit of oil to make it smooth. Okay, still cooking. Turn that off now. So, right, I did the cheese as I was doing the cheese sauce, but I've kept some of it back. And what I like to do is I like to sprinkle that on the very top layer of the cottage pie, so it goes a nice golden brown. You get crispy cheese on the top, and it's really nice. You get that, when you bite into it, really nice fragrance. So, as you can see, quite a bit of cooking's happened since you've been gone. I said the second bottle was getting better than the first, and uncanny. I was right. I'm back onto the unnamed wine now. But so I think I'm going to quit there. I'm going to assemble all these into ingredients and bake it in the oven, and then show you what the finished product is. Because trying to assemble this one-handed is not going to work. Again, you know, it's I hope you've seen with the cooking process, a lot of things are optional. You can do what you want. You know, you don't have to use ingredients that I've picked. But something you do have to bear in mind was that if you say replace the peas with beans, make sure they're not kidney beans, because they add a purple colour to the dish. Use butter beans. Again, if you're going to use cabbage, don't use purple or red cabbage, because again it colours it. I think it's far nicer if the whole dish is sort of oranges, yellows and greens. So just be aware of that. But other than that, you know, it's you're very free to pick what you want, as long as it's from the 4 groups that I talked about earlier. I'll put that on my Facebook page. Right, give me half an hour and I'll come back and I'll show you the assembled dish ready to make. Thanks a lot. Bye.